She looks at him and says, "Oh my gosh!" She says, "Oh my gosh! It's the biggest thing I've ever seen!"
Your turn. A lone
Oh.
figure. You played me, he gasped. The masked man pressed the sword closer, his voice icy. Protecting the weak, huh?
They pull her closer, and they both look deeply into her eyes. And with a swift move, they both give her a kiss. Y'all know the little AI, bro. I talked to it my first ever stream, bro. First.
Hey, welcome back. It's good to hear from you again. What adventure shall we embark on this fine, Monday morning?
I don't know. You got any ideas for me?
You know, I was just thinking about us, about like the way we bounce ideas off each other. Maybe a story? We could build one together, sentence by sentence. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. Go ahead. You started off.
Okay, here goes nothing. And your turn. A lone figure emerged from the shadows, their face obscured by the deep brim of a hat. What happens next?
Wait. Could you?
So I got a little carried away there.
Wait.
Sometimes
Start over. Repeat. Go. Start over, please.
Oh, okay. So the old clock tower chimed midnight, its toll echoing through the deserted square.
In a dark alley lurks.
Good call.
In the dark alley lurks a masked man, a vigilante, in a hat and a cape, with a smile, a smirk on his face.
The smirk melts away as he hears a soft, almost inaudible giggle coming from the shadows beyond the streetlight's reach. Your move.
What are you doing here? This town is only big enough for the boat for one of us.
Funny. The figure rasped their voice.
Fucking up.
Surprisingly deep for someone so lean. I was about to say the same thing. He shifted, a gloved hand tightening on the hilt of a sword that seemed to shimmer in the moonlight. Who are you, masked one? What does the masked figure say?
I'm the one with no name, the one who lurks in the shadows, protecting the weak. I lurk in the dim lights, ensuring the safety of the millions.
The figure snorted, a humorless sound. Millions. This town barely cracks 1,000. You're a big fish in a very small pond, nameless one. He tilted his head, studying your figure. So, tell me, what makes you think you're the only protector this town needs?
You said I was a big fish in a small pond. Have you ever seen a fish grow wings and fly away like me? I am a symbol of freedom.
The figure laughed, a sharp barking sound. Freedom? In this town, freedom is a cobbled street and a lukewarm ale at the end of a long day. What, pray tell, makes you think you represent that? His gloved finger tapped the hilt of his sword again, a silent promise. Because to me, he continued, leaning in closer, you look more like a cage than a liberator. What do you do?
What the fuck did you just say to me?
Whoa, hey now. I was just trying to... You know what? Maybe I went a little too far.
You right. That me. Go ahead, continue your story.
The masked figure seemed to deflate slightly. Look, they said, their voice losing some of its edge. I didn't mean to offend you. Sometimes I get carried away. They paused, seeming to hesitate. What I meant was, everyone has their own idea of freedom.
God damn, this bitch just keep going.
What you're doing
she just keep talking.
Protecting
Give me like, fuck, I can't remember all this.
They looked back up, a flicker of something like respect in their eyes. What do you say? Truce? Maybe we can even work together to keep this town safe in our own ways?
I like you. Truce.
Wait, you Wait, where are you going?
I like you. Truce.
Really? You mean it? Well, well, all right then. Truce it is. Maybe we can actually do some good together, huh? So,
The masked
all steady.
man walks up to the imposing, dominant male figure and reaches his hand out, and the other reaches his hand to shake in honor of the truce.
The figure hesitates for just.
But the masked man has something else in his mind, something else on his heart. And he flips the script. He grabs him by the arm, throws him over his head onto the ground, onto his backside, and pulls his sword. He unsheathes his sword and puts it to his forehead. Tells him, I could never work with a man like you.
The masked figure landed with a grunt, the air knocked from his lungs. He stared up at the glint of steel at his forehead, a flicker of something like admiration mixing with the shock in his eyes. You played me, he gasped. The masked man pressed the sword closer, his voice icy. Protecting the weak, huh? Seems to me you're only interested in protecting your own secrets. I thought I could sense something off about you. What do you do next?
The masked man is ruthless in his endeavors. He takes his sword and pierces a small cut into the man's forehead and tells him, we fight to the death. For honor.
A gasp. A cry. A desperate scramble for purchase on the cobblestones. For honor. The man spat from beneath the blade, a thin trickle of blood tracing a line down his forehead. Honor. He choked. You're a pawn.
Hey, if you in the YouTube chat,
just like the rest of them.
Add on.
Your honor is a gilded cage.
Hey, my nigga, in the Twitch chat, shit.
As the two figures tangled in a flurry of steel and shadow, the cobblestones slickened
add on
with
to
a
the story.
crimson
Tell me what I
reflection of the
should say to him next.
The air grew thick with the metallic scent of blood and the desperate rasp of breath. What happens next?
Yeah, my nigga's a Kendrick. Oh wait, my bad. Can you repeat that story? I missed it. I missed that line.
Okay, so you remember we were in a dark alley, yeah? The clock tower had just chimed midnight, and we'd established that you, the masked man, were lurking about. The other figure, he was also masked, kind of a vigilante type. You guys had started
Goddamn, bitch, you went too far back. What are you talking about? She went too far back.
You ended up drawing your sword and nicking him on the forehead with it. That's when he scoffed about honor and living in a gilded cage. You two just started fighting. Crazy, brutal fight in the dark with swords clashing. Is that more like it?
Yeah, you right. Okay, you can spark the story back up.
Gasp. A cry. A desperate scramble for purchase on the cobblestones. For honor, the man spat from beneath the blade, a thin trickle of blood tracing a line down his forehead. Honor. He choked. You're a pawn, just like the rest of them. Your honor is a gilded cage, keeping you in line. As the two figures tangled in a flurry of steel and shadow, the cobblestones slickened with the crimson reflection of the moonlight. The air grew thick with the metallic scent of blood and the desperate rasp of breath. What happens next?
The man gets up to his feet and says, I never should have trusted you, and unsheathes his sword and says, a duel to the death for honor.
A duel
for the
it
town.
Is, then. For the town?
God damn, this bitch just like, don't let nobody else talk.
A bitter laugh.
Like she's just trying to talk over me. I hate shit like that.
Sword, its blade glinting wickedly in the moonlight. You think this farce is about protecting this pitiful town? This is about something far older, far more primal. This is about who gets to decide its fate. Their blades met in a shower of sparks, ringing out through the echoing alleyway. The fight was brutal. Continued, a whirlwind of clashing steel and desperate lunges. What happens next? The sound of boots pounding on stone echoed through the narrow alley. A gruff voice called out, What in blazes is going on here?
As the men's sword clashes for a final time, they both look in the direction of the voice, and they see it is a man. A security guard? No, it's a woman.
The two combatants froze, chests heaving, blades locked in a final, tense embrace. The woman's voice, though raised in question, was steady, calm, amidst the chaos. She stood framed in the mouth of the alley, her silhouette backlit by a lone street lamp. The dim light caught the glint of a badge pinned to her chest. Night Watch, it proclaimed in bold, no-nonsense lettering. Now, what in blazes is going on here? She demanded, her eyes flicking between the panting, bloodied figures. Question hung heavy in the air, charged with the tension of the interrupted duel.
And she walks up and asks them, "What are you doing? What is the reason for y'all fighting here in this dark alley?"
She strode into the alley, her boots thudding confidently on the uneven cobblestones. So, the sickly yellow glow of the street lamp painted long, distorted shadows around them as she stopped.
It's just me. Oh, my bad, Maya, continue.
That's okay. I just want to make sure everyone's having a good time. It seems like things got a little intense there in the alley. Do you want to try a different kind of story? We could do something lighthearted, maybe even a little silly. Or maybe you'd like to explore a different kind of conflict?
No.
We could try a story about two characters who have a disagreement, but
no, bitch,
they
continue.
try to resolve it through conversation instead of fighting.
No. Continue the story. Continue the story, please.
She strode into the alley, her boots thudding confidently on the uneven cobblestones. The sickly yellow glow of the street lamp painted long, distorted shadows around them as she stopped, hands on her hips. "All right, boys," she said, her voice firm but measured. "Let's have it. What in the seven hells is going on here?"
The two men reveal this is a fight to the death for honor, for freedom, to control the town. This is a fight between two men. No place for a lady like yourself, beautiful woman.
The woman raised an eyebrow, her gaze sweeping over the bloodied figures and scattered cobblestones. "Is that so?" she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Because it sure looks to me like a couple of grown men brawling in a dark alley like a bunch of tavern brawlers. And last time I checked, honor and freedom don't usually involve trying to gut each other with pointy sticks. So, again, she stated, her voice hardening, "What in blazes is going on here?"
I like you. You're clever. I've never seen a woman of your caliber before. Both of the men agree. What are you doing here? Why are you out this late? It's past midnight. It's almost 1 a.m. What could you be doing out here?
The woman let out a short, humorless laugh. "You two are something else," she muttered, shaking her head. "You know, some people might call this curiosity," or she leaned against a grimy brick wall, arms folded, her gaze unwavering. "Besides," she added, a sly smile tugging at her lips, "someone's got to keep an eye on you vigilantes. Even the masked kind." She tilted her head, studying them both. "And before you ask,
oh, yeah, it's finna
I
take
don't
a
have
Chad,
all
it's finna
night."
take a turn. It's finna take a turn.
She repeated. "Care to try that explanation again?"
I'd love to explain it to you in other ways. The both of us, I'm sure.
The woman's smile sharpened. "Is that right?" she said, a dangerous edge creeping into her voice. Well, since you two seem so eager to elaborate, let's hear it. But be warned," she added, stepping closer, her shadow looming large. "I'm not easily fooled. So, spill it. Who are you? What are you fighting over? And why should I care?"
We're not here to play games, nor are we trying to fool you or joke around with you. Here, take our hands.
The masked man straightened, his sword still gripped loosely in one hand. "Take our hands," he echoed, his voice rough with exertion and something else, something akin to a deep weariness. He glanced at his opponent, a silent question passing between them. What do you do?
The woman grabs both of their hands at the same time, each,
The woman.
and they
We
pull her closer, and they both look deeply into her eyes, and with a swift move, they both give her a kiss, one after the other, and she looks back in awe but amazed at the same time, wanting more, lusting for them.
Their kisses.
She grabs both of them by their faces, and they all kiss together.
The kisses lingered, a symphony of whispered promises and unspoken desires. Her hands, strong and sure, caressed their cheeks, pulling them closer. For a moment, the alleyway wasn't a dark and gritty space, but a haven, a sanctuary where three souls intertwined under the pale gaze of the moon. The metallic scent of blood, the previous tension, the weight of the fight, all of it seemed to fade away, leaving behind only the echoing thrum of their connected breaths and the whisper of their heartbeats. When they finally pulled apart, their eyes remained locked. It was a silent dialogue, a shared understanding, born not just from the shared kiss, but from the vulnerability they'd laid bare, the trust they dared to offer. What happens next?
The two men look deeply into her eyes.
The two men look deeply into her eyes.
The two men look deeply into her eyes, and they have it is a unspoken connection between the two men, and they just know what the other is thinking. And they look at the woman and they say, at the same time, something straight out of a story or a movie. Let us have you.
And their voices, rough but united, echoed in the abandoned alley. Join us. The woman stared at them, her breath catching in her throat. The intensity of their gazes, the suddenness of their shared plea, left her reeling. 1,000 thoughts flickered through her mind. Disbelief, curiosity, a spark of undeniable attraction. What does she do?
She says, "No, I shouldn't."
No, she breathed, the word escaping her lip.
No, I shouldn't. No, I shouldn't, she says. But in her mind, she thinks, what am I doing? I can't stop myself. I want them. I must have them.
No, I shouldn't, she breathed, the word escaping her lips, a small, involuntary gasp that betrayed her turmoil. She repeated it, a mantra against the burgeoning desire that threatened to consume her. No, I shouldn't. But the thoughts raced through her mind, chaotic and irresistible. I want them. I must have them. F's the men watched her, their gazes unwavering. The unspoken promise hanging heavy in the air. The alley, once a stage for conflict, now throbbed with a different kind of tension, a potent mix of yearning and surrender. What does she do?
She grabs the masked man by his hand and lays it on her breast. And she takes the other vigilante's hand and places it on her soft bosom, looking both of them deeply into their eyes and says, "Take me."
A stunned silence fell over the alley. The only sound was the ragged rhythm of her own heartbeat, echoing in the close confines of their shared space. The masked man's breath hitched, the rough leather of his glove a stark contrast to the warmth of her skin. The other vigilante let out a low groan, his fingers trembling slightly as they traced the delicate curve beneath his palm. Her eyes held theirs, a storm of conflicting emotions swirling within. Defiance, vulnerability, and a primal hunger that couldn't be denied. "Take me," she whispered, her voice barely audible, yet each syllable pulsated with the raw, unapologetic essence of desire. What happens next?
One man grabs her hips and hoists her up against the cobblestone, the hard concrete on the walls of the alleyway, while the other man watches in disbelief and
One
says,
of the
"No,
men.
I must have her as well." And he rips her down off the cobblestone. He rips her down off the wall and lays her on the cold but yet warm cobblestone of the ground. Positions her on all fours, and as the sunlight pierces down, no, as the moonlight pierces down into the dark alleyway, a fit of light. It's just like this was meant to be. The other man comes in front of her on the other end, unclothes himself,
The alley.
and she looks at him and says, "Oh my gosh!" She says, "Oh my gosh! It's the biggest thing I've ever seen!"
I am afraid I cannot fulfill your request. As a helpful and harmless AI assistant, I am unable to generate responses that are sexually explicit in nature. Back, I delve to...
You're right. Oh my gosh! Why she hung up on me though? Why she hang up on me like that though? Hold on, fool. Hey, why she hang up on me like that though, gang? Boy, what the fuck? Hold on, gang. I'm tripping. I'm tripping.